no sign of intelligent life anywhere.
As y'all can see, everybody, can everybody hear me out there, guys?
We got you.
Awesome.
Hear you.
Look, well, as you can see, we got a special show. This is part 2. Me and Jeff, Superfan's been looking forward to this since part 1, but we have the legend on today, Mr. Frank Dukes. Mr. Frank, I'm going to tell you, we've been talking about your legacy, and as more of I've dug deeper into your legacy, I've been more amazed of people that talk about you. I just want to say, thank you for coming back on.
Well, my pleasure. Absolutely my pleasure. I'm looking forward to having, a venue to say some things, clear the air on a lot of things. For so many years, what's gone on is I've been pigeonholed and not allowed the decency of even being able to respond to allegations or falsehoods that have been spread about me. And that's because, the narrative is controlled by a small group of people who basically turn the martial art industry in the United States into a virtual cesspool. It's a criminal enterprise, nothing short of a criminal enterprise. You want to be a black belt? You want to be MMA champion of the year? Guess what? Show up at Alan Goldberg's event at the end of the year, and you can make that happen with a $2,000 platinum package. And get your picture taken with Couture and all these stars, so that it all looks real. So when these guys go back to their schools,
and look, Mr. Frank,
they do that. Mm-hmm.
Mr. Frank, me and Jeff can vouch for that. From ever since our first conversation with you doing the first interview, and just the funny stuff that we were saying, how Alan has portrayed himself to me, he's made slanderous allegations to me. I've had phone calls. Somebody said, "Don't cross the Mason-Dixon line," and I'm thinking, I don't know where that's at, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to be in Atlantic City in a few weeks, and in a couple of months. You know what I'm saying? I understand what you're going through, because his haters are like dingleberries that are somehow flinging onto me, Jeff. Isn't that right, Jeff?
Well, that's absolutely correct, my friend. And I can tell you from my experience, Alan has contacted me, and we've talked, and with all due respect to you, Frank, Alan has been nothing but respectful to me. I don't know if he's trying to play a card or something, but
let me tell you something. He's a very
absolutely.
Listen, Alan did the same thing with me when he was out destroying the reputations of other people. This is a pattern of behavior. Okay, he works his way in like a boll weevil, like a parasite, and he will pay for you to come out to his event. He will treat you really nicely until you lose your usage for him. Okay, it's like the mob, how the mob works. Hey, buddy, come here, be with us. We'll take care of you. They'll even kill for you. But if you pose a threat to their business, guess what? You get 2 behind the head.
Yeah, understandable.
Okay? That's the nature of it. And you have to understand, you need to go back and look at a pattern of behavior here. What he does is he picks out some poor person and he attacks them towards the end of the year to promote in his event, to get all the attention he can. Or he goes after former business partners. He had a business partner by the name of Alan Woodman. I was there when they cut their deal. Okay, I was in the room. I heard what happened, and Alan wanted me to lie about Alan Woodman, saying he stole money. He didn't steal money. Alan piecemealed what he was supposed to give to Alan. He was supposed to draw up the papers between them. They had a falling out in their business, and when partnerships go awry, you go your separate ways. Alan Woodman was trying to be a decent guy and actually give him whatever money he invested in the business back to him. I even went in and said to Alan Goldberg, "Hey, Alan, to put all this crud that you have going on with Alan Woodman aside, it's hurting the industry. I'll pay you. Whatever the guy pays you, I'll pay you, and let me have your interest in his business. I'll take it over for you." And that's when it really dawned on me. He wouldn't take the money. It was not about the money. He wanted Alan Woodman out of business because he was a potential threat to him, because Alan started doing seminars. He started doing events, and he did everything in his power to do that. I had no problem with Alan Goldberg till I put on a charity event with Frank Dukes Fellowship in Las Vegas, or tried to. And the guy went out and actually started contacting people. And this is for charity. This was an event to raise money and awareness for wounded veterans. Okay, it was with the Wounded Heroes Hearts was the name of the charity.
Right.
Okay, I'm not doing it for myself. It wasn't even really a martial art event, but it's about raising awareness and raising money. He viewed it as because so many martial artists were coming to the event, he saw it as a threat. So what does he do? He goes out there and he starts contacting everybody. If you go to Dukes' event, then you can't come to ours, and you're going to be on my hit list. And he coerced and attacked people who wanted to be. It got so bad that the actual organization that was going to benefit from this asked us to not go forward with the event, and that's why I canceled it.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this guy is, in my opinion, he's a criminal. He's promoting fraud in the industry, yet he's pretending to be a champion against fraud. I've been retired. Don Wilson goes out, I want to protect people from the teachings of Frank Dukes. Really, Don? Let's talk about who I teach and who you teach. My name is on the inside of the U.S. Navy SEAL manual. You think it got there because of a movie? I've been an adjunct faculty member for the Criminal Justice Institute of St. Petersburg, Florida, for crying out loud. I'm the keynote speaker for the Federal Law Enforcement Officers Association 2 unprecedented years in a row, or speaking times in a row. Never heard of, ever done before. Okay,
right.
Those are just a sampling of my credentials.
You know what the problem is, though, Mr. Frank? You know what the whole problem is, though? It don't go down to any of that. It comes down to your movie was better. Oh, that's what it all comes down to. They're and look, everything. This is, and me and Jeff were talking about it. There's a rebirth of like Frank Dukes, like YouTube stuff going right now.
Phenomenal.
Yep. Look, and I got so many like messages. You're a piece of shit from this, and I'm going to say this right now because Viking Quest guy, isn't that his name? Viking Quest, Samurai Sword,
Samurai Viking,
Samurai Viking. If you watch this, bro, you say I want to get people that talk good about Frank Dukes on your show, and you have a little bigger audience than me. Why don't you let me come on the show? Because you keep and Mr. Frank, you've sent me I've seen the stuff, and I have to say, Samurai, you're not doing both ways like you're saying you're doing. I feel like the narrative is, I don't know if Alan gave you a booth or what. I feel like you're making clicks off of trying to make Mr. Frank look dumb, and that's not what we're about. So, no. Mr. Frank, I see it. Ask Jeff. It's unreal, man. I've never seen nothing like this.
Well, it was rather interesting. He did a show with a guy named Doran Kaufman, and I'm glad they did the show because it really showed and put a spotlight for people to see just how Hollywood lies for each other, how they cover up for each other.
Correct.
And you could see the shock in Doran's face. Doran's not part of the Hollywood scene. He's a motor car influencer in Israel, but he was the guy who was present at the meeting. He handled the meeting. And what we're talking about is a guy, Steve Lampert, promoting his Hollywood book. He went out and said that I had gone out and I had claimed to him that I was the choreographer for the film The Quest on the set in Australia. Now, I want you to understand how stupid this lie is, okay? And I want everyone to really realize this, okay? First of all, I'm sitting across from Kamel Krifa, who is on the set, who is Jean-Claude Van Damme's bodyguard, confidant, business partner for years. You don't think he would know, or I would know, that I wasn't there, that he might not say something? Of course he would. On top of that, my whole lawsuit against Van Damme memorializes what I've been saying and what I say. And what I said is, I wasn't there. That was a breach of my contract. The only thing that came up regarding that in the discussion, and this guy, Steve Lambert, showed up with an attitude, is Doran talks about. Okay, and he's a partner of this guy, Alon. They're business partners on this Ninja project. And I was there to hopefully help raise money and maybe lend my name to their project so they can get it made.
Right.
I'm at that meeting. Okay, so I make a comment to him. I said, hey, you know, I understand you did the quest. He goes, yeah. He said, well, did you know I was the original choreographer for that? And he gets, no, you weren't. I was there. That's where that all came from.
Wow.
Okay. And I sat down and said, Steve, I didn't say I was on the set. I said, if you look at the contracts, I sued Jean-Claude Van Damme over it. I said, I was supposed to be the choreographer, just like I was in Lionheart, just like I was in Bloodsport, just like they had me do the pre-production for it and Double Impact. Okay, there's a pattern here. Now let's move on. And we did, and everything was cool. I left that meeting. Everybody was happy with the meeting. Steve Lampert even gives me his phone number, okay, his personal phone number at the end of it. Says, hey, let's get together. Let's hang out. Okay, let's do that. 2 years later, and the next thing you know, he's on there telling the story that he caught me lying. And now he's got his business partner, Alon, lying for him to cover it up. Fortunately, like I said, we had Dorn there, and you can see the shock in Dorn's face. He's just like, and he's insistent, no, that was never said. No, he had an attitude when he came. And it's really clear. And this is the problem. Lampert is part of the Gene LaBelle, you know, Chuck Norris, I don't know what you want to call that era clique. There's a clique, and it's a clique with Black Belt Magazine and Inside Kung Fu Magazine. And they kept me locked out for years. They kept me locked out of being able to go into professional kickboxing, for example. In 1980, I retired from the kumite. I had an open challenge in 1980 for anybody who doubted me. Black Belt Magazine even said they verified everything that I'd done. I did the same thing again in 1988. I did the same thing in 1988 when Bloodsport came out. What happened was Don Wilson, and maybe this is why Don Wilson's got a thing up his buttocks for me. And that I want to know. I got to know now. We got to know now because he don't like me now.
So
I'll tell you why. He came out as a bully and started to bully Jean-Claude Van Damme, knowing Van Damme could not respond, being under contract.
I remember that.
Okay. And he started saying, oh, I want to fight. Van Damme's a fraud. He never fought kickboxing.
Yep.
He's not a kickboxing world champion. Excuse me. And I told him, and I said this before. This is why I get upset when people say I said Van Damme's a fraud. No, I've never said that. I said Van Damme never fought in kumite fights. That's why he needed me. There's no evidence of that. What he did do is he did fight for WACO, I think it's called the organization, or WACO in Europe. It's a kickboxing organization. He fought there. He was very successful with the organization. And that's where it comes from. Different organizations like the WBE, WBC, they all have their own world champions. Let's be honest, okay? Depending on what boxing federation you're in.
Hey, so I'm just curious, though, Ms. Frank.
Well, let me get to my point. Just like you have Bellator and you have Strikeforce and you have UFC, right? They have their own world champions.
Yeah.
Okay. So Don Wilson is saying that one, Jean-Claude Van Damme is not a champion, and then on top of it, he issues a challenge for $100,000. He'll fight him, and he starts going everywhere with it, trying to promote his movie Blood Fist. And to shut him up, I say, you know what, Don? Let's do it. I'll fight you. I'll fight you kickboxing, or I'll fight you any way you want to fight. How about we fight kumite? And I called Roger Corbin's offices for $100,000. I'll do it. Right? Then when it looked like they didn't have the money to do the event, Michael Corcione, who's a producer of Bloodsport 2, let me try to make it happen. So he had an all open welcome exhibition for me in Barstow, California. And an invitation was sent to Don Wilson. You want to fight? Here I am, buddy. And I did it on one condition. And Mike Corcione talks about this on the Justin Harvey show. And that was that I fight everybody blindfold. I wanted to prove that I had mastered echolocation, that I could fight you blindfold. I didn't.
You would fight. You was gonna fight Don blindfolded.
Huh? Yeah.
You would have fought. Oh, damn! Hell yeah! That's gangster. That's OG. I don't know. That's OG there.
I would have fought him. You know what? Because when you get really good at what you're doing in my field, and you do martial arts, you can close that distance. A lot of great grapplers, if you look at them, they can't see what's going on, but they're making their movements, right?
Correct.
Okay. When you really throw a punch and you're throwing stuff, the way you take a guy down, You never throw a punch at a guy where he's at. You throw it where you think he's going to be at. That's how you connect. You hit the target where it's going to be, not where he is. And that's the difference between a great fighter, a champion, and a guy who's sort of like struggling. Okay, that's one of the little secrets. Don's really good at. He has a really good. I'll give Don credit. He has a really, really good sense of how to read the other fighter and to know where they're going to move or manipulate them to where he can strike them. That he's very good at. But at the same time, he depends on certain tells, and I would have used that against him.
Yeah, that's.
Right. And I think the reason I don't have respect for kickboxing is they locked me out. The same way they locked me out of the magazines. They did not want me coming around.
I believe that, Mr. Frank. Nobody will even talk to me. I dead serious. Any of those magazines, all those, I've reached out to all these kind of magazines, except that one magazine. They said they wanted to talk about it. The one that you said he seemed like a pretty good guy. I can't think of his name. Damn it. I wish I give him a shout out. But that guy, whoever he is, he's a good guy. I'm supposed to be talking to him.
Yeah. And all I can say is, I was pigeonholed for a number of years. And I'm breaking world records after world records. I did a movie, Bloodsport, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
You don't
Dude,
no mentions to hear about it in the magazines at all. Nothing. Because again, they control the narrative. They're going to say who's a star, who isn't. They bring people out to these events. They give them awards. They pay people pay up to $2,000 for their awards. Okay, and we're not talking like a couple guys. We're talking like maybe 100 guys.
Oh, I believe it, man. Look at them. Look at all those guys.
Yeah, and if you look at them, just by their movements, nobody. It's just, to me, it's like I know if a guy's a martial artist or not. The guy who's running the event right now, Dr. Goldman, all of a sudden he went from when I first met him, and he said, I only trained a little bit of Taekwondo. Okay, and I met him, I think it was like in 2014, and the guy is all of a sudden now in 2020, we're talking a 7th degree black belt in Shotokan Karate. I know guys who dedicate their whole life to it, haven't gotten past 3rd degree, and they teach avidly every day in the dojo.
Hey, it's that Cliff Note. Hey, I got it now, Mr. Frank. This is what we'll call it. Cliff Note Karate. Not the whole book. Cliff Note Karate. That's what.
Karate.
There you go, Alan Goldberg. Cliff Note Karate. They all you got to do is you do a little bit of kicking, you pay a little bit of money, and you get. Look, I'm a red belt. Alan's sending me a red belt. I didn't tell y'all. I'm an official red belt. I'm above black belts, they say now.
Well, let me tell you something. I have another name for it. My name for it is called the Theater of the Absurd, because everybody's role playing. Okay.
Hey, dude. It's sad.
That's exactly what's going on. And I don't like to talk bad about any person. I don't look for a fight. That's why you don't see me responding to
no, you don't. You never do. I give you props on that. Everybody shits on you every day, and you never do anything. That shows more honor in karate than what they do. That's what I've been saying to them. They don't listen.
The first tenet of martial arts, if you're really trained, okay, I can train you how to do movements, but the one thing that their teachers didn't obviously train them in is respect and the martial etiquette that goes with it and the ethics that go with it. Okay? If you have ethics, you wouldn't be going to Alan's event in any shape or form, not even to meet with other people, because what you're doing is you're promoting the systemic poisoning of the arts. That's what you're really doing. And you're making innocent people vulnerable. They talk about, I mean, imagine the irony in all this. Here, Don Wilson saying, oh, he's trying to protect the public from me, right? With all his slanders and his lies.
What are you doing to the public, though? What have you done wrong to the public? That's what I want to know. You brought Bloodsport. That's better than anybody. Most people never do that. I mean, that's what I'm saying. That should be enough said. That's your trump card.
Well, but my point I'm trying to make is he's pretending that he's protecting the public. Meanwhile, what is he doing? He's promoting and part of an event and getting paid for the selling of honors and ranks. Who is he kidding? Okay, he says, "Oh, I would never use cocaine because I'm a speaker for the A4M conference, the longevity conference." Are you kidding me? That whole thing is really more set up for, I think, doctors to be able to have a party on the weekend and be able to say they did their continuing education. I've gone to the event. The so-called speaking thing he's talking about is a stage in the middle of the convention floor where there's nobody there but other martial artists in this whole crowd, the same crowd. And they're talking to each other. Okay? And I could go on and on about this, and I've seen
they do
of drugs. I've seen it with myself. I've been up to the penthouse party of the guy who puts on this event, and you can see the stuff flowing in the back room, you know? And I've seen, you know, I know what I saw. You understand what I'm saying? And that's it.
Yeah.
Okay, and you can try to hide it and say, oh, I would never live that lifestyle. Yeah, you do, buddy. You do. You know? You do.
Now, what do you have to say to those guys now that they're trying to get into the limelight by calling you out on the acts that they say that you never accomplished? What?
First of all, here's the reality of the situation. Before they did the movie, they did their due diligence. They got to the writer, Sheldon Lettich, who stole from him. He has a history of taking credit for my intellectual property. Okay? Let's start right there. And that was exposed in my case with Van Damme.
Okay.
All right? It took the Writers Guild to come in and back on the script where it says story by Frank Dukes and not Sheldon Lettich. He got away with it for Bloodsport for a simple reason. He brought in the money and he negotiated away from me the credit. We were co-writers on that whole thing. And the reality of the situation is, you know that because we shared the same attorney, Mike Frankel. Yeah. Mike Frankel could give testimony to that, and he would give testimony to that. And did when we did my case with FM Entertainment. The reason people have gone on the bandwagon and say it never existed and all this is to try to break it away so they don't have to pay me the monies that I am due, okay, for doing sequels.
You see, it says it right there in the movie, guys. I got it up on the screen right there. Look,
I want to make it real clear. It says based upon true events in the life of Frank. It doesn't say it's a docudrama. It says based upon. Okay?
Right.
The Black Dragon organization exists. It's a fight test that we use amongst ourselves. They post it on their website. To this day, my records are up there for what it is.
Correct.
If you go to my website, you can see the head of the Black Dragons, Lawrence Day, talking about my fights. You can see the vice president of Warner Brothers, who was involved in the making of Enter the Dragon, who was at the event, who talks about my fights.
Right.
You have the director of Mexico's Psychology of Sport, who interviewed kumite fighters, who talks about me winning the event and even knowing about me well before Bloodsport was ever known or made into a film.
Right.
Okay. Right. And you have guys like Big Jim McCoon, who's a very well-known kickboxer. He came out and talked about being at the actual event. So, you know, they can talk and run their mouths. It didn't go. They can when footage comes up from the past and they can say, oh, that's somebody else. They can say whatever they want, but people aren't stupid. They can look at the footage. They can see who's in it. You can see the resemblance. Okay. And I can sit here all day and I'm not going to get in a debate with these idiots because they lie and they fabricate information.
They do.
Especially. Listen, that guy has turned around, took a picture that we did a film together called Firefight.
Yep.
And I remember he did some publicity pictures of all the actors, and I was one of them in the film, which I didn't want to be in the film, contrary to his claims. It was just the opposite. But he asked me to be in it because we were running short of having people be in it. And he wanted somebody with some real military training and background to be there to help him to make the damn thing look real because it was all taking place in Vietnam.
Right.
You're right. So I could help him put the uniforms on the guys right and do whatever I needed to do and put the graffiti on the side of the helmets, that kind of thing, to give it the real feel.
Right.
Anyways, the picture he took of me is the one in this brochure. And lo and behold, what does he do? He contacts everybody I do business with. And this Bogus brochure with my Bogus picture in it. And it's obviously an actor's picture because it's not in a martial art uniform, which is what you see all my pamphlets, brochures are when I do martial arts. I mean, I've got a Guillaume. This one clearly is a headshot. And it's being promoted by him. And what I want to know is, How does he have a copy of that? How many years
Unless
later?
it was part of a production.
Yeah, how many years later? And it's a perfectly preserved copy.
Right.
We had to put up posters in my school because this stuff was circulating all over the place. All right? They put up posters saying I was a Medal of Honor winner, but making it look like it was me. And they glued it to the doors of Cecil Peoples' studio and Benny Akita's studio and whatever, trying to create a fight between me and them when I had school back in the day. Okay?
Wow.
That's where that comes from. And again, it's a picture that traces right back to Sheldon or traces right back to the guys who are inventing these false allegations.
Hey, Shay, I believe it, Mr. Frank. Like I told you, I'm not even going to talk about what Alan said to me, but like Alan just came out of nowhere. Like, see, I was in private message. Jeff's seen the screenshots. We've been in private message with Alan, me and Jay, because Alan said, I love to make money. He straight up, we got screenshots where he says, I'm all about making money. I'll find somebody to whoop your ass. And I was like, bro, that's great. We'll do whatever we got to say. But then he got mad because I would say funny stuff, like just funny, being funny. And then he said some of the slanderous, craziest shit to try to, and Jeff was the one that told me. He sent me a message. I was like, oh my God. And you know what? Alan's the type of person that he's a leech and he wants to get whatever he can get out of you. If he can't get too much, he's going to try to tarnish your name. And guess what? If you're in control of Don Wilson, if you're in control of Sheldon, look, let's just be honest. He's the wannabe dude from Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. And look, Sheldon, I don't know why. I want to say this, Mr. Frank, too. I don't know if you got to see this. He keeps making fun of me, hillbillyism, hillbilly that, hillbilly that, hillbilly. I'm from the hills of Tennessee. You know how many fucking presidents were actually from Tennessee? There's quite a few.
Many?
I mean, I don't know, but I can name like you got Andrew Jackson, you got Johnson. I mean, you've got hell, I can name two. I don't know where dipshit's from, but you know what I'm saying?
He's race baiting. Let's be honest. Okay, it's the lowest thing you can do. Okay, I saw where they were saying you like prejudice and crap. You were arrested for doing something?
And I've never been arrested, never in my life, ever.
But see, you're experiencing now and got just a little taste of what I've had to deal with.
Oh, I had a phone call. I had phone calls.
Look at somebody who swear to it. That's the crazy thing about all this. They will get these so-called martial art icons and they will swear to hearing this or seeing something that never happened. That's where I say this is why it's a criminal element. But that's what it's all about. Look, I got in trouble with Alan on a number of issues. One of which was I was brought out to sign a certificate for a guy named Andrew Pinella. But nobody, the expectation is I would sign like everybody else did, a 6th-degree black belt certificate. And I go, in front of everybody, I ain't signing this. He's never tested. I don't know what he does. Why would anybody sign this if they're credible? And you know what? That's when I won the respect of Pat Wilson, who, by the way, is a Black Dragon, a fellow Black Dragon. And in fact, it was the only good thing that came out of that is finally Pat and me were able to hook up, and I had his medal from when he used to fight, his medal to give to him. I presented it to him. Okay? Pat didn't sign it. Pat told me he was offered $3,000 to sign that certificate. Because I didn't sign the certificate, I was put on the sidelines, okay, in a round table. Everybody else sat at a main table, insulted. I decided I'm going home. My wife, we decided we didn't want to deal with these people. The guy's hounding me because everybody kind of was at the event going, well, so they made another line saying, oh, Frank's going to give him a different kind of award. That's why he didn't sign off on the certificate or whatever, what have you. And because I was the jig, I mean, I basically let everybody know that people were just signing off on this thing. Okay? The truth came out as a result of what I did. So they were desperate to get some kind of acknowledgement from me. So they end up, a friend of mine named Jeff Lankin says, oh, hey, Frank, let's meet. We'll hang out together. I want this Chinese lunch. Fine. I go to meet Jeff. The next thing you know, Jeff shows up there, and guess who's there? This guy, Andrew Pinella. He shows up, and Jeff just happens to have in the trunk of his car a sword for me to sign to give to Pinelli, like I presented him a sword. Okay.
Wow.
That's how extreme they went. Okay, to try to get it. My wife, being a journalist and smart.
Boy, we're gonna get some hate off of this one tonight.
I'll tell you what she did. She has my back, like you have no idea.
Dude,
To show you how smart my wife was, while they were all consumed doing their stuff, she took her phone that looked exactly like his and swapped them. So when he took video of this and trying to make it look and make it appear, and you see I'm reluctant in this whole thing, that he's getting this sword. As soon as he put it down the phone, she swapped it back, and we were out of there. And then he
Clever.
he went crazy looking for that video. And then he took whatever little pictures he had, I guess, from Jeff's camera, put them up online and said, hey, thank you, Frank Dukes, for presenting me this sword. And I turned around and I said, no, Andrew, all the credit goes to Jeff Langton. He arranged it. He made it happen, not me. I refused to take credit for something I didn't do, and I wasn't really a part of it. That's the way I handled it. I handled it with Clout. I could have said some nasty things right then and there. How dare you, ambush me?
That's what they'll do. That's what they do.
I didn't do that. I just let him go in peace. I figure, okay, this guy needs this for whatever reason. I don't have to subordinate fraud. And that's everybody going to spend. And I got to tell you, anybody going to Alan's event with all these things going on right now, and people starting to know about it, if you're going to the event, don't tell me you're a martial artist. Don't tell me you have the industry's interest best at heart. What you're doing is you just have your own selfish interests going on. That's what's really going on here. Because you don't behave like that, you don't endorse this kind of behavior. You don't support this kind of behavior going on.
It's bullyism. It's bullyism. Huh? Bullyism.
It's worse than that. Look, martial arts used to have an ethic. We're champions. We're supposed to be the warriors who fight for a right. And part of that is like, no, drawing a line in the sand and saying, sorry, you don't get my support. Sorry, I'm not going to stand by and try to walk a fence. And that's what we have right now, a generation of fence walkers, not warriors. Okay? They're fence walkers. They're all about looking good or trying to be good and be part of that pat on your back thing, and they're not taking a stand. Well, it's good men that have to take a stand. Warriors take a stand. Warriors go in the ring and they fight. They fight. Come win or lose. They don't cheat. They don't steal. They don't have to do things that are dishonorable. Okay, because they only cheat in their own victories, their own themselves. They understand that. Okay, a cheated victory is a hollow victory. It's that simple. I got to where I am today because I worked hard and I endured a lot, and I still endure a lot of emotional attacks. They're based on trying to break my spirit.
Sure.
They can't break my spirit. You know why? Because I'm not vested in me. This is what I'm trying to tell the audience. I'm not vested in. I'm more interested in helping the kid in Mexico get his next meal than how people perceive me.
Oh, sure. Mr. Frank, that's what I'm glad we're talking about this now. That's what coming up when we get out to Vegas and all the stuff we're doing, like talking about maybe going to Mexico and all the stuff. We want to show people, this is as real as it gets. This is fucking, Frank Dukes is real. And I can tell you right now, I'm so invested in this. I've had so many threats. I've had messages and all this stuff. And I'm not going to say his name, but they said, I got $25K, one of Alan's little flunkies. So what I'm saying is, Mr. Frank, we're going to, at the end of all this, we're going to be sitting there, I don't know if you drink a beer or what, but if you smoke one, if you got one, or drink one, if you got one, that's what we're going to be doing at the end of this thing. Well, I promise you.
I enjoy a good blend. All right.
But that's it. That's it. Mr. Frank, I'll kick anybody's ass for you. I ain't nobody coming now.
The Bloodsport reality series is going forth. You guys are going to do it.
We're going to go forward with it. We're going to try to see where we can go with this. I'd like to do it as a passing of the torch.
Sure.
You know?
That's amazing.
What we're doing is going to be passing the torch to a new generation and trying to instill values all around. I want to take Cody, introduce to the greatest masters around the world, some martial arts people have never even heard of. People haven't heard of Ohai, which is a Mongolian martial art.
Okay.
Bir Keset, which is an Israeli martial art. You know, there's some
That's the real deal shit too.
There's amazing things they have that are gems of knowledge. Okay?
Sure.
That make a real difference in how you perform as a fighter. And that's what really is about. Martial arts is more like the study of conflict, how to resolve conflict in your favor. It isn't just necessarily punching and kicking. And this is the whole thing. And part of that resolution is how do you make a better society. You don't make a better society by handing out trophies to everybody and for participating. Okay? It only makes the society weak. It shades the truth.
Sure.
There are winners, there are losers. But you know what? There is no loser in the sense of you participated and gave it your all.
Right.
It's the journey that makes life worth living, not the end goal.
Absolutely.
Okay? I can show you plenty of people who are like, you know, got all the money in the world, and they're the most miserable people you've ever imagined.
No, that's very, very accurate. Super accurate, in fact.
Yeah. And it's really also telling too. When I used to work with the teams, and I trained U.S. Navy SEALs, I trained Tier 1 operators all over the world. Okay, I noticed one real interesting thing and a factor. What all these guys mostly have in common. The big jocks, the guys who kind of compensate and look at my belt. I'm a real tough guy, and I'm all this kind of stuff. Muscle bound, like you can believe. Those are the guys that quit out. They're the ones who never made the cut. They never made the cut. The guy who's a smart guy in school, okay, who will dig it in like a spoon and dig out your heart to eat it, to have that has that kind of determination. Those are the guys. Those are the guys. And the reason they're big and they look tough is they didn't start that way, but the military makes them that way. That's why it's called training. That's why it's conditioning. It's $3 million for a Tier 1 operator, each guy. You know? And the exercise they do is job specific exercise. It's aimed at the job, not necessarily aimed at, looking good.
Right. So you're going to train Cody essentially over the course of a year. And he's going to compete against somebody we're looking at New Year's Eve potentially at the end of this year. And with training under yourself, is Cody going to be ready for the likes of people that are wanting to punch him right square in the mouth?
That victory belongs totally to Cody. I'm going to be real honest with you, okay? That victory belongs 100% to Cody. All I can do is share my wisdom, knowledge, and experience to guide him to get the tools that he needs to prevail.
Correct.
Or fight the fight of fight.
That's all I've ever asked, Jeff. That's all I've ever asked. That's God dang it, guys. Look, you just heard it. And Mr. Frank, and I want to back onto that right there. It's an honor that I've been watching, and look, I've watched every of these fake podcasts that have been shitting on you and stuff. But I'm gonna tell you this right now, Mr. Frank, and I'm gonna tell you it's right. And I put a $50K bet on Alan. This was no joke. After he met you, he said his little thing. He thought this hillbilly Jim Cody, my sponsors and everything. I said, and they said, let's go with this shit. So, and I said, I don't care who you got. I believe Frank is real and you're fake. And all he could come up with was some woodchuck, leg chuck, some kickboxer or something. And then he said somebody else. He is. And then Oak Tree.
Oak Tree is his personal little bodyguard.
Okay, and then ready for this. So guess what he did, Mr. Frank? He ruined my. I'm boxing a guy in celebrity boxing, Ryan. Right? He clout chased. He jumped on Ryan, and now he's turned Ryan into Ryan thought me and him were selling a fight, but Ryan don't understand. I was trying to tell Ryan, this dude's a piece of shit. Literally, he jumped into celebrity boxing, even though I'm a hillbilly and he hates you, to clout chase off of us. That's what Alan Goldberg did. No lie.
I don't even know who the Ryan guy is. I heard him talking some smack about me. He's such a tough guy. I'll give him my address.
Oh!
I could tell you what he said. What he said was once he got finished with Cody and finished knocking Cody out, he may come out of the ring and look for Frank Dukes and give him an ass kicking too. That's what Ryan had said.
Well, he better have his life insurance.
Oh, he better have his big boy point say not, because look, Miss Frank, I promise you, Chachi will tattoo him with the BYB Brawler Network in the ring. I promise you, in blood, because look, like I've been telling, everybody's been joking, and Alan, I told Alan, you're a dumbass. You should have just got he was just trying to make some money now, not towards the end. I said, I'm gonna hurt Ryan. No lie now. Like I'm really training, like I'm doing real stuff. I'm not joking around. And he grabbed a hold of Ryan thinking he was gonna get some clout. He's about to get an L. It's gonna be embarrassing with a tattoo.
Well, like I said, I think what's revealing is Ryan's character. I'm not involved in shape or form, but he's talking about big stuff.
Yeah, he made fun.
Guys who talk big. That's kind of weird.
It's like also a comedian, so I don't know how much of what he says is comedic and how much he says is actually him believing in himself. I haven't known him well enough yet to know where to draw that line.
Yeah, listen, I can go with the fact that he wants to say what as a form of comedy of going to Cody. Because if I thought it was a threat, I'd just show up and say that right now. I don't understand, and I wouldn't even have to be honestly. I've worked with wheelchair operators. You have no idea how many guys who are retired right now. They said, "Hey, man, let me just put this head on this side." Okay, and I don't want to live with them because these guys are mentally, first of all, mentally disturbed. All right, these are people who obviously have a defect in their life, and they have to compensate for it. They're looking for some kind of approval, and they'll keep looking for it. Because instead of working on what's really broken inside them, they keep looking outside themselves. You'll see that in a lot of these activists, political activists. You really get down to what's going on in real life. There's something broken in there, and that's the way they deal. Like the person who really talks about this, a psychologist of the name of Jordan Peterson. I really strongly suggest that some people really look at the studies he's done, what he has to say on YouTube about this kind of behavior. I think you'll find it really instead of being angry at these people who do this kind of stuff, I actually go to a different place. I go to a place where I really feel sorry. I sit there and go, what tragedy must have happened in their life that they would hate our person, never interact, and all the proof there, if you look for it, to show the opposite, that they have to be part of it. That they think they need to do that to have a sense of excitement.
Hey, your haters are your biggest fans. That's what I tell everybody. Your haters click on your thing before your biggest fan will. Your haters will click first every time. Trust me.
Like I said, I'm not all that worried about it. The only thing, like I said, is the reality. I try to help people. I try to keep them on, you know? Sure. I actually, it's really funny. I walked in the office the other day and bought a coffee cup and said, do no harm, take no bull.
Yeah.
I had to buy it.
You bought it? Perfect. As soon as you did it.
It's like, because it's still like a motto of my life.
Sure.
I really try to help a lot of people. And I'm told that position about you because I helped you really on your career. I looked at her. I could have sat down and talked possibly having on the Bloodsport. I kept quiet about it for I don't know how many years.
Sure.
Then finally, all of a sudden, he points out he's trying to attack the credibility of the film, the credibility, my credibility, so he wanted to match it and do a sequel with my Claude or whoever he's trying to do. Well, it was based on Claude, therefore it was imaginative. We have a right to. That's what's really going on. That's really pushing that.
Wow. Unbelievable.
And by the way, I sued FM Entertainment over that. They were the ones who wanted to on it. They were funding it. They ended up in a settlement agreement. I don't know my life.
How did that lawsuit end up?
What was that?
How did that lawsuit end up?
It ended up with a settlement. I had them on the road.
Wow.
They can only do one agreement. They can only do a green or green remake. That's it.
Wow. Yeah.
I don't know the other rights. Period. Now I'm in discussion. Well, I won't say who.
Hey, Mr. Frank, I think you're breaking up just a little bit. You're breaking up just a tad. There might be something's breaking up just a tad. Something it comes on and off. It goes on and off just a tad. I don't know if it's just breaking up or what.
Yeah, I think it's the mic. You know.
Oh, you clear now. I hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Better.
Yeah, I apologize about this. But we have internet service.
Blame it on the internet. It's the internet's fault, man. Hey, Mr. Frank, I was gonna me and Jeff.
No, that is not. I'm trying to.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't know who your biggest fan is. I've been trying to figure out. I don't know if it's Don the Lizard Wilson or Sheldon Honey Shrunk the Kids Leftwich or Alan Dingleberry Goldberg. I don't know which one it is, but those dudes, man, I'm gonna give you credit. And like we could do a 5. Like seriously, when this show goes out, I'm gonna say it right now. Mark my words. I will get multiple phone calls from bad people saying, I'm going to do this to you. Everybody's going to start making bad messages. And guess what? Samurai guy is going to say, I'm here for Frank Dukes. No, you're not. You still haven't interviewed me, bro. You've interviewed all the haters on Frank Dukes. That's what I got to say right now. I mean, I think if you want the real truth, you need to talk to both sides, just not one side. That's how I look at it.
Correct.
Yeah, I agree with you too. What he did is last time.
And you know what, Mr. Franklin, we won't clout chase and say no names, but there's a lot of people that's well-known people that's heard what we're doing that's kind of said, hey, they're intriguing them and stuff like that. And and throughout this whole thing, when we see at the end of this and they see real people joining in and checking this out, coming and things like that, what are they going to do? I mean, I'm going to go Hulk Hogan. What you going to do, brother? You know what I'm saying? Like, mic drop.
I wish we had a better connection, guys.
But it's
I wonder if the last time was trying to figure out.
No, your phone sounds good 1 minute and then it cuts out the next minute.
Really? Interesting.
Yes, sir. 1 second it sounds good, next minute it sounds, but I mean it sounds good altogether. But it's just, hey, it could be the internet. Are you in Texas still?
Still in Texas.
It's a Texas internet, man. It's a Texas internet. But isn't it your wife's birthday today?
It is my wife's birthday.
Wow, happy birthday.
And she's an Alabama fan, like she said. Bama just won, about to get the natty Monday night, so roll tide to her. You know, I got to give a shout out to Bama.
She was a cheerleader, I think.
Hey, look, I'm a diehard Bama fan, and when she said that, I said, well, shit, Frank Dukes is a motherfucker. Frank Dukes is the man. He's not only Bloodsport, he gets an Alabama cheerleader. I mean, Frank Dukes, you know what? I got
cheerleader,
look, I'm gonna go ahead and bravo to you, Mr. Frank Dukes. Bravo to you. You are the real life I don't even know what. Hold on a second. While y'all are talking, I got a picture somewhere. I'll find it.
Right.
Good God.
Didn't we have a mic problem last time we were on? Because I changed devices. I went to my phone to the internet.
Yeah, I believe there was a little bit of interference then. There we go. Facebook took down a Chuck Norris post. So Chuck Norris took down Facebook. Then Frank Dukes made Chuck put it back.
You know, we should do some isms like that. One guy did a bunch of Frank Dukes isms with Chuck Norris. We should actually have a contest and ask people to start sending them. That would be kind of cool.
I want to bring back the old school karate. That's what I'm saying. I'm telling you, this is our generation is kind of losing. All the movie storylines are, you know, crazy storylines now. There's no good versus evil, you know, till the end, you know, unless you're watching Star Wars. And sometimes the good people die at the end in that. So what I'm saying is you got, you know, like for instance, Lionheart. We keep talking about Bloodsport because that was about you. But your fight choreographics in Lionheart is one of the top movies of my lifetime. When he fought that dude at the end, what was that? That was when I was a kid, that was the scariest dude of my life. When they fought that was one of the best scenes of my life when he beat the guy. I felt like I could do anything after that.
Yeah, Lionheart was more or less a takeoff of the original Bloodsport, which was really about fights, singular fights that was involved, and then it built at the very end. That was my script. I had my script in 1980. 5 years before Sheldon's involvement. The original producer was Deal. Descon was gonna. I thought we were gonna have a deal, quite honest. But then they backed out, and then when that happened, that's when Mark DeSalle walked into the studio with Sheldon. And the real story of how Bloodsport was made, it wasn't running around in the bar with Sheldon. That's a wonderful idea. No, it isn't. You go to 1980, article in Black Book magazine, obviously said everything right then and there. You look at Sheldon's contracts, it says he's a work for hire. They bought the story. They didn't say life rights. It says they bought the story. Okay? My contract says they bought the story. Right? I have the WTA registration. It was originally Return of the New. Changed it because shortly thereafter comes a film. We didn't want to do a title fight with Kevin Films. All pieces. He was doing that, and they were bound to Return of the New. So I changed the title to Bloodsport, which, by the way, comes from. I got the idea from a doctor in England when they fight dogs against them. That's where the title comes from. Okay? And I used that same thing when I had a fight early on as a kid. I made a joke of it. And I did my Howard Cosell imitation. I go around and say, "You're hard." You know, everybody. Fighters bound to get a point of blood, you know, and so it's more like myself. That's where that link to Sheldon, and of course he took credit for it later. He shut up and found out he did. I had already been touting this thing, so obviously he couldn't have done it. So, just to give you an idea.
Yeah.
Okay. And I don't mean what's his name, Ryan? Whatever. You guys are joking.
No. I don't look. I can tell you right now, straight up. I'm gonna say it now. I was just gonna knock him out for shits and giggles. Superfan knows that. But since Alan has said what he has said about me, and Ryan has leached onto him, and Ryan is a guest of honor at that event. Ryan's a guest of honor at that event now. So now, because of Ryan of this, I promise you, Ryan. I got a show later on tonight. but I got a 45-minute boot camp I got to hit up right after this. And then after that, I'm going to hurt him just for the fact of now because of Allen. Look, Allen has ruined Ryan's. The only thing good about Ryan is comedy. It's not his comedy. His fighting is what's comical. His fighting. Nothing else. And you know what his best show was, Mr. Frank? When he made fun of me and you the other day. That's his most views he's ever got in his life, when he did a Saturday Night Live skit of me and you where he made fun of me and made fun of you. That's all he's got. I mean, like I said, I heard he jerked off Dane Cook in a parking lot or something at a comedy club or something. You know, I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying that, but it is what it is, you know. But
I understand that people rank things up. You know, but when they took it to the next level and they're saying you're a racist because you're Southern.
Oh, yeah. I think that.
If you'll understand, Black Dragons, for example, they're really born out of Kentucky. Okay? And the chapter was really, may have been started in Chicago about a year. And John was out of Chicago teaching in the Midwest. He was teaching the Black community, because you weren't supposed to in those days. There was a bunch of Southern boys like Lawrence Day, people in Kentucky, that backed up Black fighters to go into these tournaments, white some of the hotels so they could compete. Okay? It's the same crowd that pigeonholed me, and the same guys that pigeonholed Black people out of the martial arts. If you want to really look at it, take a good look at Black Book Magazine and take a see if you can find a cover from 1964 and up to maybe the 90s, where you'll find a Black man on the cover of the magazine. You won't find a single one, except maybe getting a feature article. Yet Muhammad Ali was the greatest fighter of all time. He was a martial artist. There's no mention of that. How come?
That is true.
Right? Wouldn't you think he'd make the cover of that magazine?
How
about Steve Standard, father of Black Federation?
Yeah, but that's awesome. And
I can name a number of Black fighters. None. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, so I know it's your wife's birthday, and I know y'all are going out to eat tonight. What y'all eating tonight? What's the plan? Y'all eating steak?
I don't know what we're going to do. We haven't even decided yet. One of the reasons your father had an allergic reaction to the he was taking, and so we had to address that. But him being a real fighter, he insists we go out and figure that out.
Nice.
I already went to take these checks for the holidays. One of my favorite places to go.
And but I know you're tied up. I know you're about to get out of here, and I was going to tell you, Jay will be getting with you about that CBD stuff tonight. But also, he's been talking to a few people about the show, the reality series, and he's got some really good stuff that I'm not going to tell you over the air because I don't want people to say, "Oh my God, that's really good news," and then they start talking shit about it. But there's some good news that he's talked to a few people. That's what they're saying. So they're interested in stuff. But
like I said, I want to do it where it's have support. You really want to.
Yeah, we're gonna
see this show for a conscious growth and stop being fence walkers and really see that what's going on, behavior, and not allow it to bend.
Yeah.
Hold these guys accountable for what they do. And look, he went off. He maligned the character of Dave Johnson, big martial artist, maligned him. Alan Woodman. But they were saying Alan lived in Japan. He has a child in Japan. He was married. His father is a Navy man who was stationed in Japan. He grew up there. And these guys turned around and said for the longest time, oh, he was never in Japan. He lied about it. Or that he stole money from Union Warriors. This is the kind of typical crap that these guys pull and behavior. And they ruined Alan's livelihood. They destroyed the man's livelihood.
They tried that to everybody.
Yeah,
that's what
Goldberg and Don Wilson and Gary Hammond and that whole crew. And they're a crew. Okay, they are a crew.
But
They want some high business people, like business, letters included, contact me directly. They have no business in all of this. They don't really care about what's going on. No, they have to try to destroy people's livelihoods or everything about them. For what reason? Feel empowered, and they do it as a group. It's a game.
hey, they're hyenas. That's what hyenas are, man. They all get
Exactly.
together.
Well,
They're
they lion.
But yeah, Mr. Frank, I know we'll do another one, and then like I said, you'll talk to Jay tonight, and we're gonna start lining some stuff up. And I know Jeff came. This is the middle of the day, y'all. He's on Pacific time, so I just wanted to thank both of y'all for doing this today because this is
It's my pleasure. And again, like I said, I don't interrupt you. I want to thank you. I want to interrupt you to thank you, Cody. There you go. You really are a tremendous human being. You're a brave man. Most people would shy away just because they see a little of this kind of trouble coming their way. They wouldn't dig in and do a fight. They wouldn't call these guys out for what they are and boys. And the fact that they have actually resorted to race baiting, calling you a racist, saying you are arrested for it. Okay, that is unconscionable, in my opinion. Okay, and I don't even know what more to say than that. You know what I mean?
No, thank you. I mean, Frank, I can tell you right now, a 38-year-old, I'm gonna call myself a kid right now, watching Bloodsport when I was a kid, growing up and watching, and you know, I mean, it's just unreal where I'm talking to you right now still, and you say that. And like Superfan, so
Absolutely.
Frank, at the end of all this, like I said, smoke one if you got one. And I wanted to thank y'all for all this. Mr. Superfan, I'm gonna end it on something cool for you right here, but I wanted to thank you for everything.
All right,
Sure.
We're gonna get this thing lined up, and Superfan, I got you right here, man. Check this out.
With a friend of mine who does.
Better remind Cody to beefing up the BYB Brawler Network security system. It was really easy to get in. Just decimated the firewall. Now to set up a passcode all of my own. The Superfan sucks.